Hi guys, in this lesson we are going to talk about a very renowned personality when it comes to social reforms, and this great magnanimous personality is Mr. Debendranath Tagore. As you can see on your screen, this portrait very royally shows the portrait of, or you can say that expression and the magnanimity of Mr. Debendranath Tagore, and he was born on 15th May 1817, and he was a Hindu philosopher and religious reformer. He was active in Brahmo Samaj, that is Society of Brahman, also translated as Society of God. Okay, so Brahm, that is from the word Brahm, the Brahmo Samaj was derived. Okay, and this Brahmo Samaj was aimed to reform the Hindu religion and way of life. Debendranath Tagore was also the founder of this Brahmo Samaj in 1848, and the Brahmo religion, right? He was the founder of Brahmo religion that derived its essence from Brahmo Samaj. Okay, and this Brahmo religion is synonymous with Brahmoism today. So today it is known as Brahmoism, and he was a Bengali. He was born in a place called Shiladaha. His father was the industrialist Dwarkanath Tagore. So Devendranath was deeply religious man. His movement, the Brahmo Samaj, was formed in 1843 by merging his Tattvabodhini Sabha with the Brahmo Samaj. So his movement, the Brahmo Samaj, was formed in 1843, and it was in essence was an amalgamation of Tattvabodhini Sabha with the Brahmo Sabha, and 10 years after the death of Rajaram Mohan Roy. So, as a founder of the Brahmo Sabha, Rajaram Mohan Roy influenced Debendranath Tagore a lot because he was somebody who was a friend of Dwarkanath Tagore. So, as a person whose father was so much close to Rajaram Mohan Roy, he was highly influenced by him. So the Brahmo Samaj had fallen away from its original aims and practices as stated in its trust deed of Brahmo Sabha. However, Tagore aimed to revive the importance of this deed. Although Devendranath was deeply spiritual, he managed to continue to maintain his worldly affairs. What does it mean? That he did not renounce his material possessions as some aesthetics or mystics do, but instead continued to enjoy them in a spirit of detachment. So his considerable material property included estates spread over several districts of Bengal, most famously the Santiniketan estate near Bolpur in Birbhum district, and a later acquisition where his eldest son Dwijendranath Tagore set up his school. So Debendranath was a master of Upanishads and played no small role in education and cultivation of the faculties of his sons. And he was somebody who always advocated for a great essence of education. Okay, and if you talk about the house of Tagores or the family of Tagores, so Debendranath personal life, or you can say family affairs, and Devendranath married Sarda Devi in certain young age, and they together had 15 children, and some of the renowned names of the children of Devendranath Tagore was Dwijendranath, Satyendranath, Hemendranath, Jyotindranath, Rabindranath, and among all these names, Satyendranath becomes important for us because Satyendranath was the first Indian to join Indian civil service. At the same time, he was a scholar. His other sons were Bijendranath, Punendranath, Budhendranath, and Somendranath. His daughters were Saudamini, Sukumari, Sarath Kumari, Swarn Kumari. There are a lot of range of names. So why I'm telling you, my main motive of telling you this personal information was regarding Satyendranath, because Satyendranath becomes important for us. So by this family tree, we can remember that these all information are not mentioned on your screen. I'm just telling you, just focus on my voice, and vocally you will be able to connect, and then you will be able to recall whenever you want to. So why I told you the family tree, because Satyendranath, that name Satyendranath becomes important for us because he was somebody who was first Indian to join the Indian civil service, right? And if you talk about the religion and religious reforms that Debendranath played huge role in, as son of Dwarkanath Tagore, who was a close friend of Ram Mohan Roy, Debendranath came early into the influence of Brahmoism through Brahmo Sabha. So Brahmo Sabha was a reformist movement in Hinduism formulating as Adi Dharma or original Dharma, what it considered as the original pristine principles of Hinduism that got corrupted over time. But even earlier, deeply affected in childhood by the death of his grandmother to whom he was greatly attached, Debendranath was drawn to religion and began contemplating the meaning and nature of life. And he commenced a deep study of religious literature, particularly the Upanishads. So he was highly drawn towards Upanishads. In 1839, with tutelage from Pandit Ramchandra Vidya Bagesh, a leader of the Brahmo Sabha, he formed his own active Tattvabodhini Sabha. So from kind of inspiration information from Pandit Ramchandra Vidya Bagesh on some connotation, or you can say the same path, he created his own active Tattvabodhini Sabha, and Tattvabodhini Sabha literally means Truth Seekers Association. So he established this Truth Seekers Association or Tattvabodhini Sabha to spread his new experience and knowledge. And in 1843, Debendranath started the Tattvabodhini Patrika. So Tattvabodhini Sabha and Tattvabodhini Patrika, these are the two important names that you have to remember. So in 1843, Debendranath started the Tattvabodhini Patrika as mouthpiece of Tattvabodhini Sabha. So whatever ideas or whatever principles were associated with Tattvabodhini Sabha, that was expressed via Tattvabodhini Patrika. In the same year, he revived the Brahma Sabha as well, which had fallen in vigor and following since the death of Raja Ram Mohan Roy in 1833. And the Brahmo Sabha was formally absorbed into the Tattvabodhini Sabha and renamed as Calcutta Brahma Samaj. So we all know that Brahma Samaj or Brahmo Samaj was founded by Raja Ram Mohan Roy, and after his death it kind of disintegrated into different factions, and it was Debendranath Tagore who kind of integrated all those branches and then give it a new direction, and he kind of amalgamated Brahmo Sabha with Tattvabodhini Sabha, right? So he absorbed Brahmo Samaj into the Tattvabodhini Sabha and renamed as Calcutta Brahma Samaj. Okay, so Calcutta Brahma Samaj was the name given after the amalgamation of Tattvabodhini Sabha and the earlier Brahmo Samaj. Okay, and the day post 7 of Bengali calendar is commemorated as the foundation day of Samaj. And the Patrika began to be, or you can say that it became the organ of Samaj and continued its publication till 1883. So Tattvabodhini Patrika remained in essence of Bengal, and it was popular among people till 1883. And after 1883, kind of the influence of Patrika faded, right? And in 1848, Debendranath codified the Adi Dharma doctrine as Brahmo Samaj Bij, or seed of the Brahmo Dharma. And in 1850, he published a book titled Brahmo Dharma, enshrining the fundamental principle of Vedanta, right? These principles emphasize monotheism, rationality, reject scriptural infallibility, and the necessity of meditation between man and God, caste distinctions, and idolatry. So all these aspects or dynamics were covered in this book called Brahmo Dharma Bij or Adi Dharma doctrine, right? So he codified Adi Dharma doctrine or the Adi Dharma से जो इंस्पायर्ड जो प्रिंसिपल्स हैं उसको एक जर्नल के फॉर्म में उन्होंने प्रस्तुत किया. And in 1848 he had codified this Adi Dharma doctrine that I told you, and with the influence of Brahmoism under Debendranath spreading far and wide throughout India, he gathered reputation as a person of particular spiritual accomplishment and came to be known as Maharshi. So Maharshi is somebody who is ascetic, or you can say the mystic. So that was the title given by the people to Devendranath Tagore. His spiritual stature was confirmed by Sri Ramakrishna, the great Hindu sage of 19th century, who paid Devendranath a visit. That is mentioned in Gospel of Ramakrishna, abridged version from page 347 to 350. If you will read this book, Gospel of Ramakrishna, then there you will find this incident is narrated there, that how sage Ramakrishna went to meet Devendranath Tagore, and Devendranath's role in Bengal's renaissance and the reform and rejuvenation of Hindu religion is magnanimous. It's like considerable, very much notified. Okay, and if you talk about influence and views on the Brahmo Samaj of Devendranath, so in 1843 Devendranath Tagore became the leading force of the Brahmo Samaj or Brahmo Sabha, right, which he renamed as Brahmo Samaj. So when Raja Ram Mohan Roy had established this, it used to be known as Brahma Sabha, right, या Brahmo Sabha. But when it got influenced by Tattvabodhini Sabha, it was renamed as Calcutta Brahmo Samaj, or matlab the Sabha word transformed into Samaj somewhere when it come under influence of Devendranath Tagore. Okay, that's what you have to remember. And Devendranath wished to change the goal of Brahmoism to act as a vehicle for theological and social renewal. And in opposition to the founder of the Brahmo movement under Ram Mohan Roy, Ram Mohan Roy expressed Unitarianism, or you can say that universalism, but Devendranath wished to assert the cultural and theological primacy of Vedantic Hinduism. So there was this Vedantic cult kind of principle was kind of inserted into Brahma Samaj under the influence of Devendranath Tagore. So this change is likely due to increasing pressures from Christian propaganda, Christianity, and because Christianity was trying to, because Christian missionaries was brought into India to kind of overcome the popularity of Hinduism and to kind of counter that. That's why this one God, one essence, and all this ideologies were kind of like the Primus Adi Brahmo Samaj or Adi Granth says the same thing. So he kind of used to like say that key, see, we also believe in only one God. So that's how he used to put it, like that. Okay, and if you talk about tributes regarding all this contribution of Devendranath Tagore, then there is this magnanimous personality called Sivnath Sastri. So Sivnath Sastri has paid glowing tributes to Devendranath Tagore, and he had written a book, History of the Brahmo Samaj. So in his book, History of the Brahmo Samaj, he has written very good things about Mr. Devendranath Tagore, and he had written, Maharshi Devendranath Tagore was one of the greatest religious geniuses this country ever produced. He was truly a successor of the great rishis of old. His nature was essentially spiritual. He was devout follower of the Upanishad rishis, but was no pantheist on that account. Devendranath, in spite of the real sainthood, never put on the garb of habits of sadhu or saint. His piety was natural, habitual, and modest. He hated or shunned all display of saintliness. So he said, you gotta be saint from inside. You don't have to wear it on your sleeves and show, look at me that I'm saint. You don't have to talk like that. So that was the idea, and for that he was revered and respected among people, and there is a whole set of followers who actually are very much influenced by Devendranath Tagore. So he was a true and living embodiment of that teaching of Gita, where it is said, a truly wise man is never baffled by his trials and tribulations, and does not covet pleasure, and is free from attachment, fear, and anger. The same is a Muni. So even after you live in this world, you do your duty, you are not affected by what happens around you. That is that's the phrase of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So that describes Devendranath Tagore. It is said by Mr. Shivnath Sastri. So Mr. Shivnath Sastri just bring that line from Srimad Bhagavad Gita with due respect. वो उस line को compare करते हुए बोलते हैं कि that line very very completely or very fully described Devendranath Tagore as a person, right? So he was true and living embodiment of that teaching of Gita. So that's what was told by Shivnath Shastri. And Maharishi Devendranath was a true Muni in that respect, and he calmly bore all, even the greatest grief of life. After having done his duty, he quietly rested regardless of the consequences. Though personally not much in favor of the idea of female emancipation, he was one of the first men in Bengal to open the door of higher education to women. Valuing conscience in himself, he valued it in all about him. Religious life was growth to him, not an intellectual ascent but a spiritual influence that pervaded and permeated life. And consequently, he had not much sympathy with merely reformatory proceedings or the rituals and stuff. His sense of religion or his sense of belief or faith has much to do with inward inclinations or spiritualism, right? From the West, he took only two ideas. First, the idea of fidelity to God. Secondly, the idea of public worship. In all the other thing, he was Oriental. His idea was to plant the Samaj in India as the Hindu mode of realizing universal theism, leaving the other races to realize that universal faith according to their traditional methods. So this was a tribute written by Shivnath Sastri regarding Devendranath Tagore, and he beautifully describes him as a person that how he was even the part of the world yet detached. He was calm, composed, and the same person all the circumstances and free of trial and tribulations. So this was all, guys, about Devendranath Tagore, and he wrote a range of works and a lot of journals, books, and there are some I will mention here. Even though you are not able to see anything on a screen, you just focus on my voice, you will be able to retain all this information, and if the need be, you can listen this once again on a repeat mode, or you can increase the speed of this lesson as well. Okay, so there is this Bangla Bhashya Sanskrit Vyakaran that was written in 1838 by him. There is this Brahmo Dharma first and second parts. It was written in 1849 by him. Atma Tattva Vidya, that was also written by Devendranath Tagore. Brahmo Dharmar Mato Vishwas was written in 1860. Paschim Pradeshar Durbhiksha Upashme Sahajya. There is this long name, just remember like that only. Okay, Brahmo Dharma Byajkhan और काकिता ब्रह्मो समाजे, तो दीज आर ऑल इन बांग्ला लैंग्वेज. ओके, मेरी प्रोनाउंसिएशन हो सकता है उतनी सही नहीं हो, तो जस्ट एक्सक्यूज मी फॉर दैट. एंड प्रलोको मुक्ति, आत्यो जीवनी, पत्रावली. So these are some of the books or journals written by Mr. Devendranath Tagore with reward, with respect, with due respect. So this was all, guys. This was as much information I could gather about him. And one thing you have to keep in mind regarding Satyendranath, who was the first Indian to join the Indian Civil Service, and this sums up it all. And thank you so much, guys, for watching, and let this wisdom go viral. Thank you so much. I hope this lesson helped you to understand what and how the personality of Devendranath Tagore was and why he is called the great sage, right? So he worked towards emancipation of women and education for all, also a vocal critic of the caste system and sati. So he was a true reformist in a true sense, right? Thank you so much, guys.